Hello, everybody. I'm now going to tell you a story about one of those judges. Her name is Deborah. Here's the background of the story. So right at that time, after the children of Israel got in the good land, right? Remember that they were able to win many victories not because they were strong, right? The the Canaanites and the other nations are very strong, actually. They are like giants, right? The children of Israel were no match for them, but they had God. God was able to help them, and they won many, many victories. They occupied the good land because of God. But after they got into the good land, after Joshua died, they did not live happily ever after, right? And what happens? They started to turn away from God. And whenever they did that, they became weak because God is not with them, right? So, and the other nations rose up against them and suppressed them. And then the Israelites are in big trouble. And then they start to turn to God again and cry out to God for help. And God, every single time, had compassion for Israelites, loved them, and sent them another judge to rescue them out of the misery and bring peace to them. So I'm going to tell you a story, Deborah, how she rescued Israelites this time. This Deborah. Her story was written in the book of Judges, chapter 4 and 5. In the Bible, it always says she likes to sit under a palm tree by her home. Deborah is a very special person. Number one, as you already see that she's a woman, right? In the Bible, there's not a whole lot of women that God uses to lead, but she's a woman. So as you know that God does not only just want a man, but also a woman. God wants everybody to serve him. Deborah is also very special because she's not only a judge, but also a prophetess. A prophetess is a woman prophet. Anybody know what is a prophet? What does prophets do? Yeah, prophets are those who are able to understand God and tell the people what does God want them to do. They are like a messenger. And in order to be a messenger, you have to listen to God and do everything faithfully according to God and tell everything God told you faithfully. Right? She's one of those prophets. So, of course, she's also a judge. And do anybody remember what a judge? What does judges do? The judges are like a military. Normally, they're military commanders, the leading the fight. In actually, in the Bible, Deborah was also said that the children of Israel came to her for judgment, like a judge in the court, settle disputes. So that's you can see that she was settled in dispute between these two men, right? So here is how the story began. Right at Deborah's time, the children of Israel, the entire nation, everyone, start to turn away from God. They forget about God's commands. They start to worship idols. That made God very, very sad and angry. And he was like, if you want to turn away from me, okay, I'm not going to be with you, and I will let you see what's going to happen. Anybody know? Anybody take a guess? What's going to happen to Israelites when they start to turn away from God? Take a guess. Yes, they become weak, and the other nations rose up against them. This time, it was the Canaanites. The Canaanites had a general called Sisera. See, this is Sisera. That's mean-looking dude. He had a huge army, and also he had 900 chariots, all made of iron. 900 iron chariots. He was so strong, the Israelites was no match for them. And Sisera terrorized the Israelites for 20 years. So after 20 years of misery, the Israelites finally remember, oh, I have God. Jehovah God is our God. They start, let's turn to him. So they start to turn to him, asking for help us. They cry out to Jehovah. And whenever you do that, whenever they did that, God always had compassion. He was like, okay, my children turning back to me. So he was happy. He loved them. He had compassion on them, and he not only he knew exactly what to do, right? He's God. So he said, okay, now how do I tell the children of Israel what to do? How do I tell them? Who can be my messenger in this time? Who? Anybody take a guess? Who could be the messenger? Yes, you guessed right. Because at that time, even though everyone else was turning away from God, there's still one person, right? That's Deborah. She was still with God. She's a prophet, right? She always listens to God, seeking God, and also she does exactly what God told her to do. So in this time, God told her, okay, here is what you should do to get out of this misery. So upon learning that, so Deborah called for Barak. He said, hey, this is Barak. He's a military leader. He said, Barak, didn't Jehovah, the God of Israel, told you that he wants you to gather your army and deploy in Mount Tabor, and there Jehovah God, will draw Sisera to you, and he will deliver Sisera into your hand. Barak was not so courageous. He was like, don't you know that Sisera had a huge army, 900 iron chariots? We were no match for him. And Deborah said, oh, yes, of course, but don't you remember God is with you? And Barak said, okay, yeah, okay, maybe I should go, but I won't go without you. You have to come with me. And Deborah said, okay, I will go with you, but you have to remember you will not get any credit for killing Sisera. God will give that honor to a woman. So the two of them gathered 10,000 troops, and they did exactly what God told them. They deployed the troops Mount Tabor. Under the Mount Tabor, at the bottom of the table, Mount Tabor, there is river called Kishon River. After they deployed to Mount Tabor, Jehovah sent a man called Heber. And Heber had a good relationship with Sisera. And Heber went to tell Sisera, he said, hi, Sisera, do you know that those Israelites, right? Remember that they were hiding from you before? They're now in Mount Tabor. Sisera said, okay, let's go there and destroy all of them. Let's go. And he gathered all his army and 900 iron chariots, and they marched, and they deployed by the river, Kishon River. Right when that happens, Deborah was and Barak was on Mount Table, right? And Deborah said, Barak, you see, there is Sisera right there, right? God had drawn him out already. He had also gone out in front of you now. Okay, you need to go. Follow him now. Go now. And at this time, Barak was courageous. He was like, yes, let's go. Let's follow our God. Charge! And they were charging downhill. And everybody was charging downhill. Right then, Jehovah caused a huge confusion among the Canaanites. And the army was like, oh, what's happening? What's that noise? Where's the enemy? And if you look at the guy in the middle, he was like, hello guys, where's my sword? Where's my sword? Can anybody find my sword, please? Oh, never mind that. The Israelites are coming. Run for your lives. They start to run. And the Israelites were charging after them. And there were no match for the Israelites. The Israelites were able to take down every single one of them. No one was left. The Canaanites were all swept away. Every single one of those chariots by the river. Right at that time, Sisera was watching. I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. I better run. And he quickly got off his chariots and he started to escape on foot. He said, okay, where should I go? And I remember Heber, he's my friend. He lives nearby. So he walked towards Heber's tent. And when he gets in the tent, Heber's wife called Jael, Jael. And she said, oh, okay, Lord, come in, please. You are safe here. No one is here. You can rest here. Here's some milk for you. Look, come on, lay under the cup, the blanket. You can rest here. Caesarea said, oh yes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, I'm so tired. I'm gonna sleep now. But you please stand in the doorway and tell anyone who comes that no one is here. And Jael said, okay, you can go to sleep. So Caesarea just oh, because he was so exhausted. He passed out right away. When he was fast asleep, Jael killed him, crushed his head. So just like God has promised, the honor for killing Sisera went to a woman, Jael. So the children of Israel again win a huge victory because God was with them, right? Not because they are strong. They were not strong at all because they could not stand against the 900 chariots, but God was with them. So Deborah wrote a song to celebrate the history, the victory. And Barak and Deborah and everyone sing the song. That's the song, by the way. That is the song that you just sung. Awake, awake, Deborah. We're going to sing that together in a minute. So now let's take a moment to think about the story, right? And I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you remember some details. And some of these questions might help you with the Bible Bowl, okay? So please pay attention. Now, my first question is, what is so special about Deborah? She's a woman. Yes, she's a woman. And you know that God not only wants men to serve him, he wants both men and women boys and girls, everybody. He wants the entire nation, all children of God to serve him, right? So, and what else? She's a judge, right? She's also a prophet. Yes, prophet. What does prophet do? Prophet are those seeks God, right? Even though other people don't. So even though that when you look around your school, right, or your friends, maybe they don't seek God, but that doesn't mean that you should not. Yeah, you should just like Deborah, even though everyone else did not, she still was with God, and because of that, she was so useful to God, right? She was able to understand what God wants, right? And also, she does exactly what God told her. That is how the children of Israel won the victory, right? It's not because Israel was strong. It's also not because Deborah was smart. Her wisdom did not come from herself. It came from God. God gave her the wisdom, and she acted faithfully to God, right? She acted so faithfully. She did exactly what God wanted. That's how she got the wisdom. So, yes, if you want to be smart, listen to God. Okay, another question. Um, the children of Israel, when they get into this misery, right? What did they do when they get into the misery? They cried out to God. Yes, even though sometimes you turn away from God. I hope you don't, but maybe if you did, just like the children of Israel at that time, always remember you always have God. You are children of God. God always loves you. He can help you. Always. Cry out to him. Pray to him. He will save you. Yeah. Turn to him all the time. And whenever you turn to him, he will be happy. He will be satisfied. He will help you. Okay, and that's the story. How about we sing this song together now? Okay.